Hey guys, Corey here. Today we're taking an in-depth look at the Queen Charge Hog attack at Town Hall 13. I think a lot of people a lot of times forget just how strong Hog Riders really are. Back at Town Hall 12, they got a 2x level upgrade to bring them back into the meta, and that means that even at Town Hall 13 level, where they just got a 1 level upgrade, they are still ahead of the game, ahead of the curve. In fact, they are the only troop inside Clash of Clans to reach level 10 as the Hog Rider, and that means they are very strong compared to a lot of other troops. Now, Queen Charge Hogs is an attack that kind of gets foreshadowed a little bit by the hybrid, but if we're being honest, the strength of those Hogs is one of the, well, probably the biggest reason that the hybrid attack is so strong. And here's the deal, guys. A lot of times you don't have to use a hybrid, you don't have to send miners with them. It's the Hogs that are really the strength, the meat and muscle, the real momentum throughout the attack. So guys, take a look at using Queen Charge Hogs when appropriate. Now guys, you're going to want to stick around to the end of this video, because by the end, the very last two attacks I'm showing on this are going to be by two very special guys. These guys are like the Mario and Luigi of Queen Charge Hogs. They were some of the earliest pioneers of this attack strategy. Back at a time when Town Hall 10 was almost impossible to 3-star, these guys were racking up 6-packs with Queen Charge Hog attack, and of course nowadays they're playing at Town Hall 13 and racking up 6-packs there as well. Guys, that Town Hall is already done. We saw a Yeti bomb come down in this bottom compartment, really opening up a nice area for that Queen to charge and get some value. Now, watch out for that scatter shot. You see how he's tanking that scatter shot with his king? That's saving him from having to use an earlier Grand Warden ability or freezes or heal spells to keep them up through the scatter shot. So anytime you can plan to have that thing tanked or at the very least frozen or healed, that thing does a ton of damage. Then after that, you're just trying to heal through areas where giant bombs are going off, where bomb tower blasts are going up. And guys, with these, the heroes are a threat to the Hogs, but with the Royal Champion at Town Hall 13, look at this Royal Champion taking on that enemy Barbarian King while he was distracted by the Hogs. Just now, that Barbarian King turned around and got one hit off on the Royal Champion because he was distracted by those Hogs almost the entire time before that, and just like that, that is going to be a triple. Now, on this next attack, we're going to start talking about the kind of value you need to get with your Queen Charge to have a lot of success with Queen Charge Hogs. Guys, this one right here is going to be an example of getting extreme value before doing your Queen Charge. He starts it off with a blimp to grab that multi-target Inferno. That way the Queen can walk down here without having that multi pick off her healers. Of course, that did also achieve the CC draw. One of the most important things you got to do on a Hog attack is take care of that enemy CC. Now, as far as other value, there's a lot of high-value targets, all right? Enemy heroes are high-value targets, especially the enemy Queen. She's definitely the most dangerous one, so if you can grab her with your Queen Charge, that's going to mean good things for you. Of course, the other most high value things in Town Hall 13 are going to be the Town Hall and the scatter shots. Now, this one is an extreme example because he's going to be charging basically all the heavy value and heroes in this entire base. The trade-off is he's not going to have a super narrow path for his Hogs, but since he's getting all the high value stuff over here, even though he's got a wider path than you would normally use for a Queen Charge Hog attack for your Hogs, since he's got so much value with the Queen Charge, it's still going to be okay. So extreme example of getting all the value with the Queen Charge here. He charged the Town Hall. He charged both the enemy heroes, except for the Royal Champion. Right back here was the only hero he didn't Queen Charge. Town Hall, scatter shots, Grand Warden platform. I mean, Eagle Artillery, just an insane amount of value that he got over there on the right. Excuse me, I believe the Eagle was in the middle. And that's a high value defense, but it's not nearly as high value as the scatter shots when considered together, or the Town Hall blast. Alright guys, here we have a lot more standard example of the kind of value you're going to try and get from the Queen Charge. And then on the other side, you can use either a Siege Barracks or a Yeti Bomb, just depending on what you need. Wounded One here is going to be using a Yeti Bomb on this one. One of the advantages of it, first of all, you can just take out a chunk of the base with it, grab some value, but more importantly, you can nail down some excellent pathing. See how we have kind of a wide section of the base left right here? Queen is going to charge in, she's going to grab a scatter shot and an Eagle Artillery, which is amazing value for a Queen Charge, but she hasn't pulled that CC yet. So this Yeti Bomb's going to come in over here. It's going to take out this compartment under rage. It's going to get the CC draw, and now look at the path that we have. Look at the path that we're going to have now. Once this compartment's gone, we have a very narrow path for the miners, or excuse me, for the Hogs to move throughout this base. Now, he hasn't killed any of those heroes yet, but if you look where his Queen's going to go, once she busts through this next wall, she is going to be able to contact that enemy Queen on the backside. before the Hogs get there. Right now, he's waiting for that CC to get over to him. We're going to go to ×4 because it's a time-consuming CC, and those Hogs are already coming in on the left. Very important. Got to use that Grand Warden ability to get them through that Town Hall blast. Beautiful timing right there. That was through the Town Hall blast. That was also during the time when that scatter shot could reach them. Another thing the Grand Warden ability is really good at doing during these attack strategies is keeping that Royal Champion invincible while she is taking out the enemy heroes, alright? See if that king, oh, the king's going to the Royal Champion now. We got a one-on-one battle, king versus Royal Champion. On the bottom left, the queen was taking out the enemy queen. His Royal Champion wins the battle, and she does still have her ability left. She goes ahead and pops it, but look at this chunk of Hog Riders she's got left. He's got one freeze left. He's going to want to use that on that multi-target Inferno. There we go, guys, and we got more than enough Hog Riders to get through the rest of this base. So much better example of grabbing value on one side, getting CC pull with a Yeti bomb on the other, also creating a narrow path for the Hogs, using that Royal Champion with the Hog Riders to take out the enemy hero and bring in home the 3 stars. Alright guys, one of the things that I forgot to point out that is actually super important is the fact that right now that Town Hall is not active, and since he's starting his Hogs on it, they run the risk of running right past it. You do not want that to happen. You do not want them to backtrack, so look at this Earthquake in his composition. Very important what he does here. He's going to be playing that Earthquake to activate the Town Hall as a defense. There it goes. Now the Hogs are going to recognize it, and now they can target it immediately and get it taken out very quickly. So absolutely key that if you're going to be starting on the Town Hall, you're going to have to activate it with an Earthquake. If you want to end on it, that's fine, because when over 50% of the base is taken down, it activates itself. So if you're going to end your Hogs on it, you've definitely done over 50% damage, that you do not need the Quake at that time. Alright guys, next up we got Wounded One coming in again. Another excellent example using that Yeti bomb, getting rid of a nice chunk of base. Look at that, he got a scatter shot down with that Yeti bomb. He's also got the CC pull, and he's going to make it a lot easier to start his Queen Walk right there as well. We've taken out those structures with just a wizard on the right. He's got a nice, easy, and 100% sure Queen Walk to that left-hand side, because now we got that army camp and that cannon as the next closest building. We're going to ×4 through the CC kill since Ice Golems take forever, and now back in the game. Also, took out a nice chunk of base. So what we got, look at this. We got good pathing now. We got a nice skinny path over here. We also have a nice skinny path over here if he chose to come in that direction, so it's really narrowed out the base. That's one of the things that Siege Barracks or that Yeti bomb, excuse me, with the blimp really excels at, is cutting out a chunk of the base. It's going to usually grab some value, pull the CC, and create some excellent pathing for your Hogs through the rest of the base. Queen's taking on that enemy king. Oh man, doesn't quite get out of it without having to use her ability, but that's okay. She gets that Town Hall down. She's got the Town Hall down on the left already. Now Hogs are moving through to that much thinner path now on the right-hand side. Unfortunately, we got a double cannon still up. They're going to have to backtrack after it, guys. Now look at this. The Royal Champion already took out the enemy queen right there with the aid of that Grand Warden ability. You know, the Hogs will distract her for a while, but if she turns around and fires off on your Royal Champion, she does a lot more damage than the RC, so she can kill your Royal Champion pretty fast. That's why you're usually going to try and time your Grand Warden ability for the hero kill, unless you have to save it for the Town Hall, because you gotta have it for the Town Hall. Otherwise, you're going to have a really hard time having your Hogs survive that blast. Granted, if they are full on health, they will survive a Town Hall blast, but if they're just a little bit down, a lot of times they're just gonna disappear. So keep that in mind. Next up, we got Crisco coming in. Yeti blimp freezing the sweeper, but not using a rage for the Yetis. He figures he's gonna get enough value out of it without the rage, and he is absolutely right. Now he's creating a funnel on the right hand side. It's obvious he's gonna walk his queen right down this channel. This is that same type of trolley base that we actually saw in just a couple attacks ago, and he's gonna be doing a very similar thing here, charging down this channel, grabbing a ton of value, including both scatter shots and the Town Hall, just really leaving the Eagle Artillery and the rest of the defenses for the Hogs. Now the queen, he's not going to be getting this time. She is over here, but once again, he's getting the Town Hall with the queen charge, so he's able to use his Grand Warden ability to get the enemy queen down with some help from the Royal Champion. Guys, let's look at this Hog. The queen's doing great on the right, but let's watch these hogs. Let's look at this timing right here. He wants to time this just right so that his royal champion is invincible for the queen encounter, but also catches all the hogs in there. Look at that timing, man. Caught every single one of those hogs in that Grand Warden ability. Also made the royal champion completely invincible so she could take down that enemy queen with ease. Now we got hogs moving into their last heal as they're converging into a much tighter path. Now expect that freeze to go down on that multi-target inferno after those hogs are outside of the range of that heal. And we still got a royal champion with full health with her ability still, guys, and there's just not much left in this base that's going to stand up to a full health royal champion with her ability. We've only got a few hog riders left at this point, but they have already done their job, you guys. Another one of the key things you got to remember on these attacks, two of the key points that I haven't brought up before, I'm going to go over in this next example, okay? So two very important things to keep in mind if you want a 3-star with this attack and if you want to make sure that you're not going to time fail. So guys, the two tips that I wanted to tell you to help keep from time failing is going to be make sure you start your hogs no later than 1:30 into the attack. If you can get them down a little sooner than that, provided you have the value you need and the funnel you need for them, then by all means get them down a little bit sooner. Make sure that timing is correct. If you wait too long, you're going to hang your queen out to dry. But if you go too early, the queen charge might not have gotten the value that you need to be successful with your hogs just yet. The other tip is to, after your very first drop of hogs, get in the habit and practice this all the time too, of dropping your first group of hogs and immediately putting 2 or 3 wizards right behind that group. That way, while the hogs are moving through the base and you're worrying about heal spells and hog drops, you've already got a few wizards right behind them already working on cleanup, all right? That is going to prevent so many time fails with this attack. Just make sure that every time you practice putting down cleanup right behind your first troop drop. Now, guys, this Pablo Escobar, this is Vince. Now, him and Lexnos have been, well, first of all, buddies for a long time in the WHF family, but also these guys were just side by side annihilating bases with Queen Charge Hog Riders back at a time when Town Hall 10 was darn near impossible to 3-star. It was very, very difficult to pull off a Town Hall 10 3-star, and I mean, we're talking about, this is a meta where single targets were rocking like crazy, so you had to try and queen charge those. Gosh, these guys were doing this even back before the Inferno towers originally got nerfed, back before you could heal right through them, all right? So this is back when these triples 10v10 were almost impossible, and Vince and Lexnos were pulling these off. Now on this charge, you could tell he wanted to get that queen and that eagle artillery, but his queen had other ideas. She could have reached both of them, but she decided to walk over to the right instead. In spite of all that, it's still going to be a triple, man. He's got a cleanup miner that he direct targeted to that eagle, but he did have one hog rider that went over there and got it. With the royal champion ability, this base is already annihilated, guys. Now let's go take a look at Lex's hit as well. Finally, guys, we've been seeing so many Yeti bombs with this Queen Charge Hog attack strategy. I'm super excited to see somebody finally using a siege barracks as well. Don't get me wrong, Yeti bomb is very useful, but personally for me, I like that siege barracks the best. You know, you can't use it every time. Sometimes a base you really have to Yeti bomb it to get a proper charge going, but man, I do love that the power of that siege barracks, the extra P.E.K.K.A.s and wizards it brings really helps aid with the cleanup process, but also those hog riders usually come out and reinforce you at a very nice time. So he's got 33 of his own hog riders here, and you better believe he's got 9 other hog riders inside that siege barracks. That means this is a Queen Charge hog attack with 42 hog riders, you guys. So many pigs on this attack. Beautiful little super wall break right there, accessing that town hall compartment. That town hall compartment is already toast. Now from in there, next he can reach, first of all, he can reach that defensive CC. He's not going to have to pull it with the Yeti bomb. Also can reach this scatter shot right here. And is he going to be able to reach that enemy queen from there? I'm not 100% sure that his queen will target or go for that enemy queen, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter because I've already showed you guys how to use that Grand Warden ability to use it at a proper time so that you catch all the hogs in it, but also catching your royal champion in it so she can be invincible while she is taking down, facing off with those enemy heroes. Now look at his queen. That scatter shot's not down yet, but she is tanking that scatter shot entirely. So even though the hog riders weren't quite up there yet, even if they had been and it was still up, it was being tanked, and that is massive, man. Anytime that scatter shot is tanked or frozen or at the very least healed through, if you slack on that sort of thing, it's gonna make your hogs disappear so fast. Look at that scatter shot on those hogs. Oh man, just made a group of them disappear before he got that healed down. That's how fast that scatter shot works. Most devastating defense at Town Hall 13. Absolutely. 2 different heal spells here. His path did widen out a little bit, but he's got, like I said, we hit 42 hog riders on this attack, and when you're bringing a ton of hog riders like that, you can make up for pathing that is otherwise not 100% perfect. Friends, on your screen right now, there's a button to subscribe to the channel right in the middle of the screen. On the left, there's going to be a link to my Town Hall 13 Attack Strategies playlist. Check out some more Town Hall 13 attacks over there. Also, on the other side of your screen, there's going to be a video that YouTube thinks that you might like to watch next, so check that out as well. We'll keep hanging out, friends. I'll see you in the next video.